Hi, it's Debbie here today, and as I get back into the swing of things after a spell of being unwell, I wanted a project which was quick and easy, and so I reached for the February Card Kit from SSS Stamp. The great thing about card kits is that so much of the work has been done for you. The stamps coordinate with the pattern papers, as does the cardstock, which makes it so easy to put everything together. The Love Always stamp set from the kit has several gorgeous florals and a sweet bird too. The images are very detailed with shading and lots of detailed line work, and although I contemplated colouring the flowers in some way, I felt the amount of detail included would look really lovely simply stamped in black on craft and letting all the detail be the focal point. I dug around in the kit and found the Neenah Desert Storm card, a couple of Authentique pattern papers and a pre-scored note card, and started to plan what I had in mind. I picked one of the floral sprigs to use and then trimmed the pieces of card and paper to size. My plan was to have the floral image stamped in the top third of the card on craft card and then have the remaining front panel made up of the red pattern paper with a border along one edge of the black striped paper. I placed the Neenah Desert Storm piece I'd cut to be slightly smaller than an A2 black note card in the mini MISTI and used the red piece of paper as a guide as to where to centre the flower image. I closed the door of the MISTI to pick up the stamp and then inked it in VersaFine ONYX black ink. This is a great ink for stamping fine details, and I always get a good impression first time. I added a strip of Gina glue runner along the back of the red pattern paper, and then adhered the black striped paper. I trimmed the piece to size and then added more glue runner on the back before adhering to the craft piece. As this card has quite a vintage feel, I thought a little stitching would add a nice accent, and so I dug out my little sewing machine. This used to belong to my grandmother and is still going strong despite being made in the 1930s or something. I have the original manual tucked away and it has the original factory check date stamped in it. I love using it and the memories it brings back to me of my nan. I ran a simple zigzag stitch over the intersection between the two pattern papers and then pulled the loose threads onto the back of the craft panel, kept them in place with pieces of washi and trimmed away the excess. I added foam adhesive to the back of the panel and then adhered to the front of the black pre-scored A2 note card. For the sentiment, I pulled out the Love Always set again and chose the You Are My Soulmate greeting. I cut a piece of ivory card from that included in the card kit and placed it in the mini MISTI, treated it with an anti-static powder bag to prevent embossing powder randomly sticking everywhere, and then stamped in clear embossing ink before sprinkling with antique gold embossing powder and heat setting. I trimmed the piece to a skinny banner with a clear ruler and scalpel, and then to give it a more aged appearance to fit in with the rest of the card, I used a Picket Fence blend brush and stone ink from SSS Stamp and lightly rubbed the strip until it took on a more vintage look. I added the greeting to the card with foam adhesive and used a T-square ruler to ensure I had it on straight. As a final accent, I added a trio of gold sequins around the sentiment strip and kept them in place with Gina Connect glue. And that completes this vintage inspired, quick and simple Valentine's card with no colouring, just a little stamping. I'll leave links in the YouTube description below to the products that I've used today, as well as a link to the coordinating blog post over at limedoodledesign.com. I want to thank you for joining me today, and if you've enjoyed this tutorial, I'd be delighted if you'd subscribe to this channel. Also, if you'd like to get notified when a new video is out, don't forget to hit the bell button next to the subscribe button too. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.